make you feel bad, but you kinda ruined my life. You hurt me and ruined my life. And I don't wanna make you feel bad, but you kinda ruined my life. You hurt me and ruined my life.
You want those nice, crispy chip shots, pitch shots, anywhere around the green, 50 yards in, get it close to the hole, bing bang bosh, put it in the cup, saved your par. Well, I'm going to do it today. This is Andy Plays Golf. See how we go on. Nine times out of 10 as a mid to high handicap golfer, that shot there has absolutely saved your card. It's the one where you get it close enough that you've got a confident putt on. It's the one where you've missed the green and your second or third shot in, you've got to pitch it up and you end up sinking the par. Makes you feel absolutely amazing. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the basics of the pitch shot and a wee chip and run shot. And I'm going to do it in completely common sense, stupid free language. There was some really good feedback I got on the slicing video that guys just feel as if this is kind of simple stuff, common sense stuff, that there's no jargon in it. So that's what we're going to do today. I do need to say, I'm not a pro, don't claim to be. If you are seriously struggling with these shots, go to a pro, go and watch a pro's video. But in this video, we're going to make sure that we keep it jargon free, really down to earth, basic stuff. Okay, before we start, there's a couple of things you need to make sure that you've got. For me, I'm only going to choose 2 clubs. This is my 56 degree that I can open up if needs be. This is going to be for the spinnier shots where the ball's going to go higher, it's going to land softer and not roll out as much. This is going to be when we've got quite a bit of green to work with, where we're going to do these kind of bump and run, the standard chip shots. If you're really struggling with pitching and chipping, don't go out and buy 2-3 wedges. You don't need them. You're not going to know what each club does. Stick to one club. Shane Lowry, for instance, around the green uses a 58 degree. That's all he uses. He doesn't use these 8 irons, 7 irons. These are great as long as you know what they're going to do. But this club, I know exactly what's going to happen when I open the face up or put a different kind of swing on it. And that's because I've used that on pretty much all my shots. And again, my pitching wedge, I know what kind of bump and run rollout it's going to do on it. So just stick to 1 or 2 clubs if you can. The next thing's your towel. You need to make sure that your club face is clean. You also need to make sure that your balls are clean. When I'm out in the course, my balls get dirty, they get wet, and I need to make sure I've got a nice towel to get them nice and clean. If you've got clean balls, you've got a clean face, the chances are your ball's going to grip better and you're going to get a lot better spin on it and certainly better contact. So if you can, get a towel. Easy. The last thing is your ball. I'm using a TaylorMade TP5. For me, it's great. It's spinnier, it's premium. It's just great for these kind of shots. If you are using a kind of lower budget ball, you're probably not going to get the kind of shot that you're expecting. A higher spinning, softer feeling ball is going to be best for these shots around the green. Now I've got that out of the way, let's start hitting shots. Okay, so what do we mean by chip and pitch shots? For me, a pitch shot is one where it's going to go a wee bit further. Pitch shots are usually away from the green, say under 50 yards. It's more of a half swing, it's more of a finesse shot. You want to get a lot of feel on it. So you'll notice I'm not wearing a glove. A chip shot is when you're closer to the green, but you've maybe just got a wee bit of ground to go over and it's not going to be good to putt it. And you probably want to land it on the green as soon as and let it roll out. So we're going to first of all work on the pitch shot. This middle pin here that you can see in front of me, I've probably got about 20 yards to the green. It's probably another 20 yards to the pin. Realistically, the green's too far away from me to get the ball on the green and let it release out, because any power I've got to get over this rough to get onto the green is just going to be taken out on the shot and it's going to run right off the back of the green. So I need a wee bit of spin here, I need the finesse, I need the feel shot that's going to land it and release out just enough that I can get it close to the pin. So I know that my 56 degree is going to fly and carry in there roughly about 80%. I'm then going to get about a 15 to 20% roll out on these kind of shots. With my pitching wedge, you might be looking at the reverse. You might be looking at a kind of 20 to 30% carry in the air with a 60 or 70% rollout. But this pitch shot, my 56 degree, I'm going to use it for a bit of a tight lie. It's not great. I'm worried about getting the leading edge snagged up here. So there's going to be a couple of things we're going to do. So the 3 things we're going to talk about is planning, picking your equipment, and execution. Simple. So to plan your shot, go up and have a look at the green. I've already looked at this, it's slightly sloping from left to right here down to the pin. I only want to get this close enough to putt it. Right, get it out your head that you're going to get it in the cup. Right? You're not going to get it in the cup. The majority of pros aren't going to get it in the cup. So you want to get it close enough that you can one putt. So because I know my club, I know what my landing spot's going to be. As I spoke about, we're going to get about an 80% flight with about a 20% rollout. So I'm looking here at the green and I'm looking at something that stands out, whether it's a bit of dark ground, there's a bit of mud, whatever it is, that I'm thinking that's going to be my landing spot. And just like my putting beforehand, I'm thinking about where my swing's going to go to. That's the planning part. Even go up and have a look at the green, you want to treat it similar to a putt that we are going to get a certain amount of rollout. Now, pick your equipment. You've got a lot of different options here. You can even bring out a hybrid or a 3-wood and bump it through this grass. We all know that rough is a lot more unpredictable than the green is. So let's take the rough out of the equation. I'm going to need a lofty club. I'm going to open the face up, my 56 degree, use the bounce and get that spin. How do we use that? Well, by opening the face up. The minute you open the face up, your bounce bounces off the ground, your leading edge is nowhere to be seen. So to do that, a couple of simple things. You're going to put your club down at the ball first of all, but it's going to be opened up, similar to a flop shot. But you're not going to have the hands down. You're actually going to have the hands quite high. So the minute you open the club face up, your ball's wanting to shoot off to the right. So what you need to do is just aim the flat edge or your leading edge of your club just to the left of the pin. So if the pin was 12 o'clock in a clock face, you probably want to aim your club face or the leading edge of your club face at round about 10, half 10. Your body doesn't really matter where it aims as long as it's open to target. So for me, something like that is quite good. The ball is going to be more towards the front side. Play about with it and see how you feel. It all depends on where your club comes down. But for me, just take your stance without the ball and concentrate where your club's hitting the ground. So for me, it's in line with my left heel, and that's where my ball goes. You're wanting just a normal grip on here, but the shaft is going to be a lot higher. If you bring it down, you're going to choke the heel end of your club into the ground, so you want it to be higher, and it exposes an up and down swing, which is the next thing we're going to talk about. So in last week's video with the slicing, we spoke about how to knock that bottle over, right? We don't want to come round the body. This is exactly the same, but a lot more extreme. You actually want to take the club out, and if anything, I feel that my left hand, my leading hand, is pushing the club down here. In doing that, you get a higher swing, you can come down, and you're exposing that bounce a lot better on the shot. And one of the most important things here is put your weight on your left side, about 60 or 70% onto the left side of your body. Keep your sternum on the left side of the ball, and there shouldn't be any swaying or any movement when you hit this shot. Just a simple up and down. Use your wrists if you want, get the feel of bringing that club up and bouncing it down on the ground. Play in the rug on your house or play out in the garden and just get used to bouncing the ground, and you'll actually feel that you can go quite hard and your club isn't digging into the ground. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is nice high hands. And what I mean by high hands is when you finish, you're wanting that face to be pointing up to the sky or even towards you, and you want to bring your hands nice and high. Stand up. You want to make sure that you feel as if you're flicking that ball in the air. Let's do a wee run through that and hit a shot. Ball's going to be just off the left heel. I'm open to the target. Face is open. I'm feeling I've got that bounce on the ground. Nice loose hands. Shaft high. Weight on the left side. We want a nice steep angle and just hit it. Okay, so let's look at it face on. I'm going to be picking the same pin here. The leading edge is going to be aiming slightly to the left of the target to allow for that spin into the right. Ball's going to be played off my left heel. My foot's going to be really open, as well as my body. Again, those things don't really matter as long as you're aiming okay, your shaft's up quite a bit higher, and you're going to put a steeper swing on it. So just before I do my shot, I put my weight over at the left hand side. I just feel as if I'm up in the toe a wee bit on my right foot. Just get nice and comfy, look at your pin, look at your landing area, and hit your shot. And that was quite decent. So now let's look at the chip shots. So I've changed my club, now onto my pitching wedge. This does also have quite a decent bounce on it, but we're not really going to focus too much on that. There's going to be some different things that you want to do here. So you're going to plan your shot here. Remember, this one's probably going to go 15-20% of the way and then roll out about 80% roughly. So I'm going to pick my landing spot here. My landing spot is going to be roughly in line with the first flag you can see in the right hand side. But then I want to get down and actually aim the shot. I want to see how it's going to react similar to a putt. So I would go up to that landing spot or be looking at the landing spot and imagining how the ball's going to roll. So for this here, this is going left to right, so I'm definitely wanting to pick a landing spot which is left the line, just to allow it, just like a putt, to roll in. But again, we're only wanting to get this near. Don't think about the cup and don't start focusing on small targets. Hit your shot with low expectations here. So I've done my planning, got my equipment. You now need to look at the execution. Very, very similar to the last one, is we want to try and keep that leading edge away from the ground as much as we can. But on a pitch shot, you're going to have more of an up and down putt and stroke, very little wrist movement. So you might find that your club will get snagged in the ground. There's ways to minimise that, and there's also ways to overcome it. The chances are you're not going to be able to do much about it unless you open the face up like you do and fly it a wee bit higher. But again, that has a lot of risks involved. So with this one, even if you do hit the ground, you've already hit the ball and then it snags up, similar to you would on the fairway, just to allow that ball to release, and then your club can snag up if it wants. You're going to have a square face with square shoulders, but you're going to open up your body slightly, just to allow your hands to come through. The ball is now back in my stance, a lot more middle than it was for the pitch shot, because I'm wanting to make sure that I get the ball and then the ground on contact. You're going to develop a putt and stroke here, and what I mean by that is very little hands, up and down. When you use your putt and stroke, you can't really go wrong. The only thing you can do is either scull the ball, but you're going to make sure that you're going to feel as if you're driving down a wee bit into the ball. And again, your weight's going to be in your left side, and your sternum and chin is going to be slightly in the left side of the ball. We've got the shaft a lot steeper than we normally do. Bring it back, putt and stroke, and chip it through. You want to keep low hands here. You don't want the high hands, you're wanting to keep the low hands, because you're wanting to feel as if you're rolling the ball out. Let's give this a bash, see if we can get it close. Come up a wee bit short, but I'm happy with it. Right, let's look at this as a face-on angle. So similar as we did before, you want to lay your club face down before you hit your shot, get your aim right. So I'm going to be aiming slightly left of the target. You can see that my ball is in the stance. I'm not closing the face. Don't do all of that, because you're going to get the leading edge. You don't even want to lift it up, because you're not wanting to scoop it. You're just wanting to hit the ball and then the ground. Nice high hands, feel as if you're standing high. Weight on the left-hand side. And a chip away. Done. And that is off a very, very, very tight lie. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about all this grass getting caught up in the club. But your club's going to be nowhere near the ground when it hits the ball. You're actually having a wee descending shot onto it, and then you're hitting the ground. So that is us, guys. Thank you very much for watching. There is going to be a video coming out in the next couple of weeks where we're going to look at Wilson's short game in and around the green. That's something that probably needs quite a bit of improvement, because he's good the rest of his game. It's just round about the green, he's got no confidence. So I think what I'm going to do is just set a camera up, make us both up, and just hit record and just see if we can start figuring out shots for him. If that's a wee idea that he's like the sound of, get down in the comments and let us know. So other than that, I'm going to go and practice. If you have liked the video, make sure you give it a like. If you're new to the channel, give it a wee subscribe. Tell your mum, tell your dad, whoever it is you want to tell. But other than that, behave yourselves. We'll see you in the next video. Take it easy, guys.